I'd like to introduce Dr. Michael Petrou, who will tell us how he became involved in this wonderful project.
Hi, thank you. So I was hired when the project began in 2022 to be the historian. So my main job was to conduct all the so far 200 plus interviews with veterans and their loved ones. And we started out, the pandemic was still on, so the interviews began online or by phone, and then we started to do it face to face. So we've traveled across the country from British Columbia to Nova Scotia. We've driven all over Ontario and Quebec to have face-to-face interviews with veterans who range from 104-year-old veterans of the Second World War to much younger returnees from Afghanistan and Iraq. And we're trying to understand not what happened during their service or during a particular battle or conflict or deployment with the United Nations. We want to know what happened when you came home, and how did your experience shape who you are today? And that could be very pragmatic things. People might say, I learned these skills which helped me in my civilian life and in my civilian employment. Of course, there's the impacts that it can sometimes be quite difficult, post-traumatic stress. It might be exposure to new people, but a theme that's emerged through these interviews is that everybody has changed in one way or the other. And we're trying to understand the nature of those changes, those ripples that extend from their service. So that involved interviewing veterans, but we also learned that veterans' loved ones are often shaped by the veteran service as well. So about 20% of the people we interviewed are spouses and children, and often their lives have been impacted by their loved one's service as well. So that's been a quite rewarding element of the project too.
So Michael, how did you change after this journey with these wonderful people?
Well, it's been a lot of these interviews are intimate. Sometimes they're sad. They're almost always enriching. So I've changed in the sense that I feel an enormous amount of gratitude to have been able to participate in this project. My mind's been opened, and I've studied war all my life, but even with that foundation, I've still been exposed to new ideas and new experiences. So I suppose I've taken on a lot of what I've learned, and sometimes these are difficult conversations, but much stronger or more greater influence than that is just gratitude to have been able to participate in these conversations. I hope that people that take in the exhibition will be enriched themselves, but on a personal level, I've certainly benefited and learned a lot, and have found it a very rewarding experience to be so involved in gathering and reflecting on these stories.
Well, thank you very much for bringing these stories together, and it will give everyone a deeper understanding of this suffering, the silent suffering that our veterans and people in the service have been through.
I hope so. Thank you for talking with me.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you.